And now I've got all the weight on my one leg into the foam roller, and I'm gonna roll up and down from that position. So I'm not putting as much pressure on this leg. I'm trying to really sink down into that roll. Almost a hair small for my quads, but I'll show it anyway. It's probably the simplest of our whole setup. We're just gonna go into a front plank position, and you want that foam roller to be right in the center of your quads. And when you're in that plank, we can roll up to the top of the quads, down to just above the kneecap. And if you're not feeling much tenderness or stretch there, you're just gonna bring your knees up and repeat the same way. Up to the top of the quads, down to just above the kneecap. We'll try some straight rolling first, or vertical rolling from kneecap to the top of the quads, either with your legs straight or your legs bent, whichever you feel provides the best response. If you let your knees flail out to the side a little bit more, you end up kind of rolling off of the center of the quads. So we do want maybe the center of the kneecap to stay perpendicular with the foam roller for the best effect through the center of the quads. It's looking good. I love your facial expressions through these. These are great. Wonderful. Okay, so again for me, this felt pretty good. I didn't feel like I got enough of a pressure on my quads. So I'm gonna go to a single leg version or an offset version. Very similar. We'll start laying on them, on the roll, and then you're gonna bring one leg out to the side like this. And now I've got all the weight on my one leg into the foam roller, and I'm gonna roll up and down from that position. So I'm not putting as much pressure on this leg. I'm trying to really sink down into that roll. And I can hit a couple different angles through my quad. Let me get to the side of it a little bit. And if you get a real sweet spot, I finally found one, I'm happy about that. Here's my sweet spot. Now I'm gonna roll back some and forward some from this area where I'm supported on my opposite hand and foot. Good, we can try that on each side. Find some good points. So yeah, let's keep your bottom leg straight, top leg bent, that's good. And now you want to be a little bit lower in your leg. So start to work away from your hip and more towards your mid leg and down towards your knee. Just because I'm likely to trip over it, I'm going to set your espresso off if that's okay. I'm just going to pop it right up here on that bench. Got some good ones, Ellen? Killing you? Okay, that's good. Do you want to try the blue roller? See the difference? Yeah. So this one's a medium density. It's a firm center with a softer roller on the outside. Got a little easier? Yeah. So it's good to have a little variety. Like if you look around our gym, we're 98% high density foam rollers. But we've got this one sitting around for if we need it. There we go, that's good. Okay, as we've wrapped up the quads, we're gonna go into my Achilles heel, so to speak, of our calf as well. And now there's a couple versions of this. Now this one, if you've got some shoulder history, I wanna be careful with your shoulder positionings. I am essentially gonna ask you to push your body weight up this way, but we'll find some variations if that's hard on your shoulders. So the basics for this is we're gonna target one calf at a time. You're gonna cross your other leg on top, right where the roll is. And then from here, we can do slow and just kind of slide from spot to spot, or if your shoulders are up for the challenge, you're gonna press long to lift your hips. You're gonna push down. We're gonna roll into that border between the upper calf and the lower calf. First, you can start right in the center. Are the calves up to the challenge? That's right. You can also turn a little bit to the side again to get the medial gastrocnemius. That's the big part of the calf on the inside, lateral, and then we can turn medial to get the inside. So the kind of the high value spot is if you think of like the ball of the calf up top, we want to be working that line right before it turns to the skinny part of the calf. Is this okay on your shoulders? Okay, another variation, we can go down to here, cross the legs the same way. This time you can use both hands to prop up a little bit, but you end up getting more of the side of the calf from there. Make sure we get both calves. You start on your right, switch up to your left. Put that right in that crook between the upper calf and lower calf. Cross your legs. Elevate. Roll through the upper calf, the gastrocnemius, down to the lower calf, the soleus. Remember, this is self-massage. You can make it as direct and exacting as you like, or you can make it softer in general if that's the type of self-massage you're ready for today. Do you want to try the blue one?
I'm feeling what we did yesterday, which was being on a
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's good to just see the difference, what it can be with a different type of roller. This one's a little bit softer. Nice. The other thing I like to do, our calf muscles, when they're tight, they keep us in this ball of the foot position. So I like to work dorsiflexion and plantar flexion up and down of my ankle when I get to that sweet spot. So I'm going to elevate, I'm going to roll to my most tender spot. Ooh, it's a good one. Then from there, I'm going to point my toes up and let that drag my ankle up into dorsiflexion and then back down into plantar flexion. You got the good one too, George? Okay, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. And we can roll a little bit, find the other part of that sweet spot, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. Nice. Try that on both sides. Looks good. All right, our shins are a little bit harder to get to. It's a really small muscle group. If you look through the center of your lower leg bone, most of the meat of the shin is going to be on the outside of that central bone, just on the outside here. So if we want to get to that area, we're going to go to all fours on the roller. Then you're going to take the side you're not focused on and roll it behind you. So we're in the same kind of figure four position. Then you're just going to roll with your weight, your top knee pressing down on your calf. You're going to roll up and down the shin, just to the side of that central bone. And you can also do that plantar flexion and dorsiflexion of your ankle, pointing and bending of the ankle while you roll up and down the shin. Good. So I know some of you've got your top leg straight, touching the ground. That's fine. If you want a little more pressure, you're just going to kneel on your calf as you roll up and down the roll. There we go. Let's get to both sides.